We're live. And now we wait. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? How does my audio sound? Please chat. Let me know. I feel like the last time I tried to do a live stream, it was terrible. The audio was all over the place, but hopefully now it sounds good. ASMR. Yes, we'll do some editing ASMR. This is a mouse click. Wow. Is that doing anything for you? Hello, everybody. Lazy is lonely. Can I join Liquid? Yeah, sure. Why not? Go for it. All right, guys. So last night I was up late and I was watching the Team Liquid CSGO team play. And while I was working on that video, everyone has been asking me for the You Got That meme tutorial. So we're going to start there. Wait, somebody says I'm muted, but then other people said it sounds great. So which one is it? Is it sounds great or muted? All right, hold on. Let me open this. Okay, I'm so confused. I don't think I'm muted, but you guys need to let me know. Hold on. I'm gonna double check because I don't believe it. People like to troll. Okay. You guys need to let me know. Hold on. I'm gonna double check because I don't believe it. No, people like to troll. Definitely not muted. Okay. You guys need to let me know. Hold on. I'm gonna double check because I don't believe it. No, people like to troll. No, mute. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, people were asking me for the You Got That meme tutorial. So, I just want to show you what I made last night because it's, it's fun or whatever. Let's see. So I've seen a bunch of these done in a bunch of different ways. So my inspiration was from this one, actually. So the video does whatever this is, and then you do your own kind of. So I'm sure you guys have seen that. So last night I got really bored. Not bored, but I was watching Team Liquid CSGO play in Sydney, so it was like super early in the morning here. And I decided to make a SpongeBob one using scenes from SpongeBob from Muscle Bob Buff Pants, the one where he gets like the inflatable arms, So I'm going to walk you through my process here of what I actually did. So basically, I went in to this episode of SpongeBob and I grabbed 3 frames. And inside of those 3 frames, what I did was I basically masked him out of a scene, masked SpongeBob out of a scene. And if I click on my mask, you can see I literally came in here and I like drew a mask around everything that I wanted to do. A little bit of feathering and then some subtraction and addition on the mask. Okay. Basically to get this. And then it's 3 frames from a scene because he's moving a little bit in each individual frame. So I basically did that. And then what I did was I came in here and I put the 3 frames down, 1, 2, 3, and then I reversed those 3 frames, 1, 2, 3, which is what this guy is here. And then basically it's going forward and backwards, all the way down for a total of 3 seconds. So then you just get this nice little loop like this. And then what I did was I came and I put it into the meme format for the You Got That meme. And Let's watch it. You know, nobody's seen this yet, so you guys are the first. This is exciting stuff.
Cause you got that.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Can I not? All right, there we go. That's better.
Cause you got that. 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 Like you, cause you got that. Something that I need in my life, so give it to me. Cause you got that. Like you, cause you got that. Something that I need in my life, that I need, so cause you got that.
There you go, guys. That was it. That was the You Got That meme featuring SpongeBob SquarePants. You saw it here first. Live premiere. All right, so I wanted to go over just a couple things here. I think I'm going to eventually make a tutorial on this later, but, you know, we're doing a live stream today. Oh, by the way, the reason for the live stream. So I was in Hawaii for 5 days with my wife and her family. And then for those of you that know, or for those of you that don't know, I work at Team Liquid. I am the director of 1UP Studios. And so, you know, we have a lot of stuff going on right now. Our League of Legends team is in Vietnam and they're participating in MSI, which is the mid-season invitational. So it's a big event. We're doing a lot of content around that. And because they're plus 14 hours and they play on the weekends, like my weekends have been really spotty with actually trying to record videos. And usually I shoot on Saturday mornings and then edit it, you know, in the early afternoon, and then I post on Sunday mornings. But I just haven't had time in the last little bit, so I apologize for that. So we're doing a live stream today because that is the easiest for me to do right now, so you guys can at least come and hang out in the chat. Darko, yes, I do work for Liquid. My name is Ian Sansevera. I am the director of 1UP Studios, which is Team Liquid's production team and post-production team. So any content that you've seen on Team Liquid's YouTube channel or social media accounts in the last 3-ish years has all been this guy and my team. Obviously, my team is amazing. The 1UP Studios team, incredible. But yeah, that's been me and my crew for the last couple of years. So it's been fun. All right, let's jump into what I'm doing in After Effects, guys. This is exciting stuff. Real exciting stuff. Okay, so basically, if you go to the real meme, what I did was I just kind of broke it down frame by frame. I'm like, okay, so the way that this is all framed, and if you were to watch the actual like video side by side with my SpongeBob one, it would be identical in the framing. I know that's not necessarily the format for this. People kind of do whatever they want, but basically I looked at this and I said, okay, there's cutouts of cartoon characters. We're doing some like weird, like pseudo tape distortion, like old VHS-y kind of effect here. And there's some stuff moving. These ones I think were either individual illustrations that, like, if we go frame by frame here, like the hair is moving and the mouth is kind of like animating. So this may be either somebody that took a drawing that already existed and then just kind of animated around it, or these were like individual drawings. But the way that the hair is moving right here, I just looked at this and I said, okay, well, that's just a layer on top of itself. Like maybe we're doing some sort of like puppet warping. The eye in here is also kind of just like moving and the mouth is moving. So I just looked at this. I kind of saw what was going on. And for me, this is just a 3D camera in After Effects that's kind of just like moving through space with moving characters here. So I came in here, and my topmost layer in After Effects right here is my 3D camera. So if I come over here to two views here, and I click on my camera, you guys can see that over time, this is my After Effects camera over here on the left, and over time it's just pushing forward. That's all it's doing. It's just pushing forward in my scene, and then inside of my scene here, I have all of my SpongeBob clips that are all 3D layers. And for those of you that don't use After Effects or you're confused by this, use After Effects because it's an amazing program. But so basically I have this SpongeBob guy right here, which is pushed forward in Z space. And again, if I kind of come over here and I show you guys, these lines are representative of where those SpongeBobs are. So this middle guy right here is here in 3D space. We're looking top down. So it's like I'm on the ceiling and I'm looking down. So this is my middle SpongeBob. This guy over here is my frontmost SpongeBob, and he is closest to the camera, which is why he's bigger. It's actually the same exact scale, but he's just closer to camera. So if I were to move this closer to my camera, which is this little rectangle right here, he gets bigger because we're actually moving it in space. So I hope that makes sense. And then I got some effects on the layers that are not the main layers. So a little Gaussian blur on this guy to make him a little bit more blurry to fake depth of field. If I turn that off, there he goes. He goes into focus right there. So we're faking depth of field. And also we're adding some directional blur to transition us in. Because if you look at the original video, every transition into everything is like a little blur and a shake. So we're just doing like a little 3-frame directional blur on everything. And we're adding some noise and some Venetian blinds to give it that like old TV-ish effect. I turned off on the wrong layer. There you go. There you go. So now I'm just adding some like, old-timey TV effect there and some granular noise. And that's it, guys. I just really like the song, to be completely honest. That's why I did this meme, so I could listen to that song a bunch. Good stuff. All right, let's catch up on chat. Hold on. All right, we're catching up. All right, I'm not going to go all the way back to the top. How do you make text presets in Premiere Pro with Tidal? So that's a good one, I guess. We can start. Let me open Premiere real quick. Nope, wrong folder. How did you scroll that YouTube vid so smoothly? Life hack on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. The comma and the period key on YouTube will go frame by frame. Mind blown. You can watch YouTube videos frame by frame by using the period to go forward in time and the comma to go backwards in time. Little life hack there for you guys. Hold on, I lost the chat. Okay, there we go. Sam G, will this be a tutorial? Yes, it will. Eventually. I was explaining before. I don't know when you guys popped into chat, but I was explaining before. I've just been out of town and I've been traveling and I've been working and doing all this stuff. So unfortunately, I just haven't had time to make a tutorial, but we're doing it now. We're doing it now as a live stream. Hi, waiting for a wedding video editing tutorial. Yes, I know. Everybody's asking me about the wedding video. I need to do it. I literally have had no time to do anything, unfortunately. But let's see. The wedding is here. I got a couple exports. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I posted it a long time ago, but we can watch it real quick. So this is a little wedding highlight video that I did a little while back. I can still remember the first time. God, this is just lagging all over the place. I'm going to drag that into Premiere, actually. There you go. At least this will play back smooth. Hello? Drag this in here. There you go. I can still remember the first time that we kissed. Always wanted to feel like this. Wow, my eyes, they're watering. So beautiful. So beautiful. All right, hold on a minute. How do you make a Premiere template that opens up with all the folders and stuff? That is a great question. And if you guys watch my video on like workflow with post-production, there's a company called Post Haste. Let me show you guys this live. This is worth showing you live. I'm going to do live, unedited, unfiltered, Post Haste. You can download a program called Digital Rebellion by Post Haste. And when you open the program, it looks something like this. It doesn't look like much. There's just a couple little forms that you fill out, and it's the client, the project name, and the date. So learn how to edit stuff is the client. The project name is Mind Blown. And I have made my own template in Posthaste, but you guys can do whatever. You can make your own. You can do whatever you want. It's free. Did I mention that it's free? It's free. Free programs. Everybody loves free. You hit Create Project. I'm going to save that to my desktop. And then look at this. It creates a folder structure with a bunch of different folders already in it. So projects, and then I open up projects, and look at here. Here's a Premiere project, boom, and it already has the project in Premiere named with whatever I named my project. And then when I open up this Premiere project, all of my folders will be in there because you can save it out as a template project, which is super, super awesome. If I come under media, all of my folders are already here: footage, music, still images, graphics, sound effects, YouTube rips. That's what I use the most. Color grades if I'm going to grade anything in DaVinci, exports, rough and final exports. So Posthaste will just kind of set all of this up for you in a very awesome way so that you don't have to just like continuously make new folders, and it keeps everything really, really clean, which is super important, by the way. Spencer's asking what specs I have on my PC. A really long time ago, MSI built me a 4K editing computer, and they sent it to me and they said, hey, will you test drive this thing? Let us know what you think. And it's pretty awesome. I think I have a, oh God, I want to say I have a 8700K CPU. I have the NVIDIA Titan Star Wars Edition graphics card. I have a 512 gig SSD for like my programs and stuff. And then I have 16 terabytes of internal storage for all the footage and everything. So it's pretty awesome. And there's a bunch of fans on it. The case is really cool. It's sitting over here. I used to have it on my desk, but I needed more desk space. I need to buy a new desk. I also need to buy a new monitor. I think my monitor has been, oh God, it's been like flickering and doing all sorts of weird stuff, which is not good. Sorry, we're bringing the chat back up. My side monitor, can I like zoom in on this thing? I'll figure that out later. Okay. Thanks, man. Love your videos a lot. Keep it up. Thank you, Sam G. I will. What would you suggest starting out as a beginner? What should I do? Well, that is a good question, and we're going to talk about it for a couple minutes. If you are a beginner and if you're just starting off in editing, or you want to get into editing or any of that stuff, learn as much as you can and fail as often as possible. That is my advice to you guys. The more you jump into a project, even if you're shooting it on your cell phone in your living room and you're bringing it into Premiere and you're learning and you're editing, you're going to want to like ramp up your knowledge in the program as quickly as humanly possible. Because even if you don't have the technical skill to execute on something, at least you'll have an understanding of what that something is, and then you just have to train yourself to get faster and faster in the actual editing process. For me, I'm super quick with stuff. I edit really fast, and a lot of people have commented on my YouTube videos and said, dude, you talk so fast, like I can't follow you. And that's just because I've spent a lot of my time just simply learning as much as possible. So if you're a beginner, if you're just starting off in editing, learn as much as possible. My channel, obviously a great resource to you. Unfortunately, I don't upload as often as some of the other guys out there, but there are really great people on YouTube that are just giving free knowledge and more knowledge than you would get if you went to film school, right? So the school of YouTube is a very real thing. I would use that and learn as much as you possibly can. That's my advice. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the chat to see new messages. Mood edit transition tutorial. What is a mood edit? Aren't all edits mood edits? Shacker asked me, when am I going to make a Fortnite montage tutorial? And I've already done that? Haven't I? Oh God, now I'm questioning myself. Learn. Oh God. That's not how you spell Fortnite. Yeah, this thing. Watch this video. Computer, it just makes things a lot easier. And then Fortnite cinematics tutorial. I go through everything. Camera positioning, movement, and then editing. that are dropping it into Premiere, making a highlight.
Interacts with your character and just let open here. It's gonna start building out our.
I did that already.
All of the things that we
You weirdos.
How to get your gameplay looking a little bit sicker.
This is
so
the
today I'm
video.
gonna run you through how to do something like this. So one of the biggest questions I got.
That was a good snipe. That was a good snipe, if I do say so myself. Da 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 da. Is Hit Film professional enough for any projects? Yes, it is. I reached out to the Hit Film guys and I said, hey, a lot of people have been asking me about Hit Film. Can you send me a license or whatever? And they did, and I checked it out. And it seems like all the research I did from it, it actually looks pretty sick. It does. But I can't move on to another program and like try to edit in it. I'll literally go crazy. So I will not be using Hit Film. Maybe I don't know. If enough people ask for it and there's enough of a want to use Hit Film, then I will do a tutorial on it. Sorry. Shacker talking about screen pumps and stuff. I swear to God, I'm not mad at you, Shacker. All right. This is not your fault. I'm not mad at you, but so many people ask me about goddamn screen pumps. And I feel like I've done it like 6 billion times. We're going to do it 6 billion and one right now, folks. All right. If you have something that you want to do a screen pump for, here we go. Boom. I got the 1UP Studios logo right here. It's very simple. You click on your layer in Premiere. You come to your effect controls. You set a scale keyframe. You go over one keyframe, set another scale keyframe, go over one more keyframe, set a third scale keyframe. Come in here, go to your second keyframe, and just make it bigger than your first and your last. Boom. There you go. And now I have a screen pump, and now I can literally just copy and paste this over and over and over again, and now I'm just going to get multiple screen pumps. There you go. Simple. 6 billion and one for Shacker. Here, we'll just keep it going. I'm going to set an out point, and I'm just going to loop it. Because that's the kind of guy I am. And I'm going to make you watch that loop, too, while I catch up on chat. Making a short film when there's a scene where my actor is a few years in the past from a story. Is there any editing tips you can make on how to make your characters or actors look younger? Dude, that is a practical effect that I would definitely, whoever's shooting it, if you're shooting it or if somebody else you know is shooting it, that is a practical effect that can be achieved with makeup that will save you hours and hours and days of frustration trying to make them look younger in post, unless you're really, kind of talented with CGI or anything like that, or you're taking the right precautions to do that. It's going to be really, really next to impossible. You can blur some stuff to make skin look smoother. You can put tape distortion on it to make it look older, but I would do that with makeup, like practical, actual makeup. All right, don't be roasting Shacker. Let Shacker ask his question. We're peace and love here, people. Peace, love, and editing. Have I ever heard of vaporwave editing? No, but I know what vaporwave music is. There's an amazing playlist I follow on Spotify, actually. That's called Retrowave and Outrun. And every song in here is dope. We're listening to this retrowave shit right now real quick. All right, we're done with that now. All right, everybody quit yelling at Shacker. Swift Burn is asking how much they should charge per hour as a freelance editor. Now, I have two different theories on what to charge people, right? It depends on your hourly rate, depends on your skill. So if you are a really, really good editor, you have a lot of experience, you have a proven track record, you have clientele that you've worked with before, your reel is solid, all of these things, you can either go to your client and say, okay, hey, I charge, let's use $50 an hour, right? Some of you may think that's really high. Others of you may think that that's actually kind of low, depending on your skill set. Wherever you kind of fall in the spectrum, you say, all right, $50 an hour. But then you also have to tell them how long you anticipate actually working on it and how long you think it's going to take to complete. So you're going to say, hey, $50 an hour, I think it's going to take me 4 to 6 hours. So you're looking at roughly $200 to $250 for me to do this today for you. And then they either say yes or no, or you agree to a total amount for a project that you're working on. Now, this can get really tricky because if you don't set yourself up for success early on in that negotiation period, you're going to get screwed, right? So if you're like, hey, I'll do this whole project for you for $500, and then they just put you through the ringer where they're like constantly making you change things and little micro edits and expecting you to work like super long hours. And then eventually you get to the end of the project and that $500 ended up being the equivalent of like $18 an hour because you worked so much on it. It ends up not being worth your time. So you say, hey, $500 for the project. I'm going to give you 2 revision rounds. You get 2 rounds of notes. So I give you my first cut. You tell me all the feedback, and then I give you all of your feedback back, and then you give me another round of revisions, and then that's it for you. And if you want to do another round of revisions or whatever, it's going to be X amount more than the $500 you initially paid me. So you have to set yourself up for success with the negotiations of what to charge for a freelance day rate. It kind of depends on everybody. Everybody's different, you know? I'm going to vape. Everybody shut up. How did I first get into OneUp and TL? Do you have any advice on how to find bigger clients to work for? I initially got into OneUp and TL because I was working for a company that sponsored Team Liquid. They're Quest Nutrition. So they were a sponsor of Team Liquid, and I started editing some esports stuff at Quest. And then when I was ready to leave Quest, I kind of reached out to the people at Team Liquid. And I was like, hey, this esports thing is kind of cool. Would you have any interest in bringing me on? And they said, yes, absolutely. And so they brought me on. That was like, a little over 3 years ago. And in that 3 years, esports has definitely like exploded in popularity and gotten way bigger than I ever thought it would be. And Team Liquid is just winning shit all the time, which is really awesome. So working for a winning team and a winning organization that has a winning mindset, and Team Liquid's an amazing org. And I definitely made the right choice. All right. How do you make text presets in Premiere with title? I don't know what that means, but if you're in Premiere, you can come over here to this type tool. And if you guys don't have what looks like my setup over here, right at the top where it says editing, learning, whatever, right click on where it says editing and reset to saved layout. And it will put all this stuff down here for you. And then you can just simply click on the type tool and then click on your composition and then write in whatever you want. And it will put it as a graphic element down here on your timeline. And then Premiere is so dumb with this, but basically now I can click on this. I can come up to my graphics panel, which is up here. Then I can click edit, and now I can edit this. So I don't know. It's a little backwards. I don't really agree with the way that the title tool is in Premiere, but I don't know. And then I think you can also still do legacy titles if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Can you? Or is it going to crash my PC? Ooh, could go either way. Oh. Nope. I think the legacy title tool is crashing Premiere. Well, let's save this SpongeBob thing. Close out After Effects. Sick. Thanks, Adobe. I hope somebody from Adobe is watching this stream. I was just trying to add a title, and this is what happens. Dumb. Dumb. I'm going to reopen that project, though, so we can still do stuff. Okay. Catching up. Sorry, guys. A lot of good questions here in the chat. Can't get to all of them. 85, okay. Oh, my God. Holy Moses. Why don't I use Fusion or Nuke? Because I'm not a composite artist. I'm not a CGI artist. I am a more traditional editor. If I had to pick a style of editing that I would say like teasers, trailers, like hype, exciting product advertising style editor. But Nuke and Fusion and all that stuff is like compositing and a bunch of crazy shit that I don't do. I would like to learn, but I simply don't have the time, unfortunately. Diaz, you're going to get banned from my chat. If you're going to spam, they will lose MSI. How dare you? Would it be possible for you to stream editing your job projects, or is it forbidden by TL? Good question. And, I talked to them a lot about doing that. And I was going to do a Twitch channel where I just was kind of live all the time when I was editing. And we kind of talked about it, and we decided that it was probably a bad idea because a lot of the times I'm going through footage and coaches and players are like leaking strategies and stuff like that. So we don't want that to be public knowledge, because if somebody from 100 Thieves or whatever is, watching the stream for whatever reason, they can just go back to the team and say, hey, TL's going to play XYZ thing. And, I don't want to deal with that. But what I can do is I can open, if you guys go to the Team Liquid YouTube channel, we just did a show called The Liquid Update with Avali May. And this is what my timeline ended up looking like. Ooh, hello? Oh, there we go. Yikes, everything disappeared. All right, so this is what my timeline ended up looking like for that project. Pretty standard stuff. 2 video tracks of actual video, lavalier audio tracks. Down here, we got some like sound effects. I have a reverb track down here. So this isn't anything like super, super crazy. Who asked that question? Sorry. God, I have to catch up on. Oh, there we go. So this is that project. Nothing super crazy. The intro to that show was all done in After Effects by our amazingly talented new editor at One Up Studios, Heather Wicks. She did this After Effects motion intro.
Oh, shit.
So that was the only thing that wasn't done in Premiere. Everything else is like pretty standard stuff. We're doing some like Skype overlays over here just to like, hey, this is an interview. We did this goofy like smoke transition thing over here where they kind of, oh, I'm in the wrong part. Where they like clap themselves out of the interview as like a joke, right? So hilarious. This is just some After Effects like smoke charges. That's just masking them out of frame. This is a very simple effect to achieve. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy there, guys. All right, catching up on chat. I have to read it on my main monitor. I'm sorry. Yeah, this project was not done super clean, unfortunately. Usually my my projects are a little bit cleaner than that. But this one was messy because we had to do it like in a day. It was a same day edit or next day edit. So had to do it quick and was just like throwing stuff on there left and right. I'm trying to see if I have a picture of my timeline from, I don't think I do. My desktop is really messy. Oh God. All right. Catching up on chat. Somebody typed and said, "Why can't I send my question?" What is that not a question? That you just Oh, what is the best setting to render GoPro footage? So every GoPro is different. I don't really like working with GoPro footage, truthfully, but if you come into Premiere, I believe if I'm not mistaken, if you start a new sequence, Is GoPro one of the options? I thought it was. Maybe not. So for your GoPro footage, what you would want to do is just do standard. I believe it records in H.264. So, choosing any one of these things, whatever it is, doesn't really matter. Come over to settings, set this to custom. Unless GoPro, I thought GoPro had a thing. I guess not. So you're going to set your editing mode to custom. You're going to set your time base to whatever your GoPro is natively recording in. So if you're recording in 60 FPS, change it to 60 or 30. I like 23976 because I go over that in a lot of other videos. I'm not going to explain myself. Frame size 1920 by 1080, or if you're shooting in 4K, it would be 3840 by 2160, which is UHD, not actual 4K. Pixel aspect ratio square, and then you can leave everything else the way it is here, and then you just click OK, and then you drop your GoPro footage in, and depending on what you have set up on your computer and what your specs are will determine if you can just play it through seamlessly or not. Guys, if you have a graphics card in your computer and your computer is running slow and it's not rendering and you're like, why? Come up here to File, Project Settings, and go to General, and make sure that this renderer is set to Mercury Engine GPU acceleration, not using software only. If you're just using the Premiere software only, your shit's going to be hella slow. But if you use your GPU acceleration, now with the new Adobe Premiere update in the most recent 2019 update, I believe they're making graphics cards a little bit more useful in your workflow. So this is definitely a big one for those of you that may think that you have poor rendering performance. That's a good way to kind of circumvent that. All right, GoPro footage. Thank you, Lou. Lou Manther. Your constant motivation. Watch your videos all the time. From Botswana. Hell yeah. From Los Angeles. Thank you for joining the chat. Thank you for coming in and hanging out. Any tips for filming at an event such as a convention? New company wants me to make a video of our trip. Kinda nervous. Ah, God. It depends on how big the convention is. It depends on what cameras you're using. It depends on how many people you have shooting. But my tips for filming a convention would be to, if you have a crew or multiple people that are filming it, have meetings all the time. Talk with them all the time and make sure that you guys are always on the same page with stuff. If it's just you that's shooting it, you better be overshooting the living shit out of that convention so you have a lot of footage to play with in the edit. And then it'll just look more impressive to the client at the end of the day. So that's my quick tips. Travis is asking what flavor vape I have. It's 6 milligrams of nicotine. Don't smoke, guys. And it's by this company called Fried, and it's banana flavored. I didn't think that I would like it, but it's actually quite nice. All right, so she is using a GoPro Hero 7 Black. It depends on what you're actually shooting in, like if it's 4K or 1080 or what FPS you have. So just make sure that you're matching your Premiere settings to whatever the camera is shooting, and that will give you the smoothest experience, at least with editing it initially. Thora Project, what is up? Not a whole lot. Just live streaming, Just sitting here talking to you guys, hanging out. Da, 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 da. Let's put this over here. Da, 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 da. Okay. Sorry, you don't want to look at that ugly guy. Where'd my chat go? All right. Travis Arnold wants to know if I can blow rings. Maybe. Let's see. I probably look like an idiot. I used to be able to. It's kind of drafty in here. I have the window open. I don't vape for the tricks, Any tips on setting a roadmap for an organization for the video side of production? I was just brought in as a full-time for getting their video side started. Yes, I do have tips on that. Talk to the people that hired you and kind of see what your needs are for the company. And if you're doing product videos or whatever, make sure that you are setting yourself up with the right equipment to do that kind of stuff. So the right lighting, the right cameras, the right tools, props, all that stuff. So you need to determine first what it is you're trying to achieve, and then you have to put a plan in place for how to achieve it. That would be where I would start, and setting a roadmap at least early on. What games do you play, and which is your favorite? For a while, I was just obsessed with Fortnite, and then I got kind of sick of it. I shot with our Team Liquid Fortnite guys a lot, and they have a lot of frustrations with Epic Games, just kind of like, the more I talked to them about it, the more I started to realize that it's like, okay, you're a game developer, and you just keep patching and breaking your own game like every couple weeks. Like, you're not making it enjoyable for anybody. So I stopped playing Fortnite. I played Apex Legends for a while, and then stopped kind of playing games altogether. I haven't gamed in like 2 months. So I haven't really been playing much of anything these days, but I like shooters. First-person shooters are fun. Is there a website or subscription service that is worth it for editing? The only thing that's worth it, I think, for me is like a royalty-free music website. I use Epidemic Sound. I love them, and their prices are pretty cheap. I haven't signed up for their ambassador program yet, which actually that just reminded me. But if you guys sign up for a free trial, I get some money out of the deal. Epidemic Sound's amazing. All of their music library is super, super awesome. I use them both at Team Liquid and 1UP Studios and for my own personal YouTube channel. So if you're going to invest in anything, especially if you're doing stuff that you want to monetize, having a music subscription is pretty important. I've heard of Space Jam Vape Juice. I actually didn't like it. I know I'm in the minority. How do you go about insuring your equipment while traveling? Pelican cases. Make sure that you have a case that is just very rugged that will protect anything from fall damage, wind, water, anything like that. Something that you can stick under a plane if you have to travel. They are a little bit expensive, but that's probably the best form of insurance, at least for me, is having a case that can kind of handle the travel. All right, Roscoe, label colors. When dropping asset into folder already labeled with color, which asset would use the same color? Ah, I see what you're saying. So you're saying if you drop something into this folder that was labeled with a color, you want that asset to reflect that color. Yeah, that would be nice, actually. That's actually a really good suggestion. I agree. I'm going to close this project, actually. Okay. Catching up here. Love your stuff, my dude. Recently brought a friend of mine on to help me with editing videos. He lives in a different city and we share files through Google Drive. Do you have any advice for co-editing with a partner? Yeah, I do. Talk about it a lot. Set plans in place for what each of you is going to work on so you're not both working on the same thing. And if you're both using Adobe Premiere, you can experiment with the shared projects. I personally don't like it, but I've heard a lot of people that do, which is basically as long as you're sourcing the same footage, you can work in the same project and then you publish your changes to the other person. It's a little confusing, kind of. I didn't really like it. We have me plus 3 editors at 1UP Studios, and we're all working on individual things and stuff together. And usually, we'll just make our own project, work on a bit of it, and then just kind of import it later in time. But different strokes for different folks, All right, I'm jumping to recent. First time on your live stream, I just want to know if an NVMe SSD improves more than just a usual SSD in After Effects from France. Yes. I'm a wild Riven main. Yes, the internal NVMe SSDs inside of a computer tend to have higher performance in general because they're directly connected to your motherboard. So that certainly helps with doing that kind of stuff. And my, everything that I edit off of in my computer here, I have an NVMe SSD that is, I believe it's 512 gigabytes. And this is my like just working drive on my computer. So my media drive, my M drive is just kind of everything that I'm working on a daily basis right here. Or, you know, like my most recent, tutorials on YouTube, like they're all kind of here. And then once I'm done with them, like once a month, I'll basically go through and I'll throw them onto my archive drive, which is a 10 terabyte platter drive. And I have 7.48 terabytes left. And so I'll just use this as an archive. So on here, these are all of my previous After Effects tutorials, just in this archive drive. And so I just kind of archive them all here, but then I work off of my internal NVMe SSD. Is there a way to make a folder template when setting up your bin in Project Manager? I don't know. I have my Premiere templated to work with Post Haste. So every time I create a Post Haste project, it automatically creates my template here. So when I open up Premiere, it's footage, music, still images, graphics, sound effects, YouTube rips, and sequences. And then I just put everything into their corresponding folders here. And I just keep it nice and organized throughout my journey of the edit. So if I was going to recommend anything to you, it would be that, because it works for me and it's been working for years. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Would you have any tips on making gaming montages, and do you even do these types of things? Yes, I've done plenty of gaming montages. My advice would be to use good plays and to edit to a song that is exciting and try to make your edits kind of fall on beat, like the typical frag movies or whatever are all kind of done, you know, very rhythmically. So, you know, go with that. All right, Banana Bot MC, what was your question? Oh, competing in a cubing competition, and I want to make a cinematic video for it. Oh God, that's a stumper of a question right there. Shoot some really cool B-roll of you know, like solving a Rubik's Cube, like close up. So you can kind of like see it working with your hands, like maybe you looking at it or whatever, hit like cinematic, like hitting the time start button on the thing or whatever. And then you could use the footage from the actual competition just to like show it, but it would be like the prep for it, right? So you can make the preparation really cinematic and really cool, but then like the actual competition, I feel like you're going to want to focus on winning or doing well in the competition. So, you know, anything that's outside of your control, just see if you can do it that way. How do I make transitions and effects as a preset, if that makes sense? Ghost Boy, if you look at my most recent video that I just posted on my YouTube channel about making essential graphics, custom essential graphics, you can do it yourself in After Effects and then just save it out as a template, which is pretty cool. And if you guys haven't seen that video, check this out. I'm going to create a new sequence real quick. And then I'm going to come over to my graphics panel here in Premiere. I'm going to search learn how to edit stuff. And look at that. All of my free presets that I gave you guys in that tutorial are all right here. So now I can just drop any one of these onto my timeline. And now it will give this as a preset. And this one's pretty cool because if I have something underneath it, let's see, if I drag any sort of random, let's see. So I'll just use this thumbnail real quick. So now I can put this title over that, and it kind of like, you know, makes the opacity over the layer that you're using. That's not a good layer, but I digress. So anyway, these are all the presets and templates, but then you can come in here and you can edit it. So I can say cool thing, bro. Look at that. And then I can adjust the size and the position of the text just like that. Maybe we'll move bro over just a touch. And now that is a preset. And I can just switch this to kind of whatever I want. And I made a bunch of these. So we can come in here. This one's the big bold title, where it just kind of slams in. And then I can do change this text. Boom. And now it animates. And I've just changed the text. So that's pretty cool. That's a cool thing. Definitely watch that video. Hidden gems, hidden gems. Can you make a series that you copy a new and creative effects used in music videos and movies and TV shows like Cinemacom? Yeah, sure. I can try it. But I know a bunch of people are going to be like,
Oh, Cinemacom does this. Why are you doing it? You're just a copycat.
because people on the internet are babies for some stupid reason. If I'm starting out, should I do stuff for free? I have lots of editing experience, but I don't think it's fantastic enough to spend money on. No. Do not do anything for free unless you think that it's going to benefit you more greatly in the future, if that makes any sense. So if hypothetically some guy's like, hey, I'm in a pinch, would you be able to do this? You know, we have a lot of projects that come through like this. I just really need your help. And then you say, yeah, sure. And then you do it for free and then you nail it. And then that guy's going to come to you and say, hey, can you do the next one? And then you say, yeah, I charge X amount per video or X amount freelance rate. I would love to work with you. And then if they're like, oh, that's too high, then definitely negotiate if that's something that you want. But I would never recommend working for free. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. I challenge you to make an 8-bit After Effects animated looping scene as fast as possible. Kind of niche, just thought I'd throw something to do out there for you. Okay. I accept the challenge. Let's get a timer on the clock. Or a clock timer on the board. Somebody throw some time out there. Oh, God. Okay, let's see. New composition, 1920 by 1080, 8-bit scene. Boom. Make it white. Increase this. Find a good font. Da, 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 da. Oh. Oh. There you go. 8-bit. And we'll maybe do one of these guys. And we'll go like this. All right. Make this look nice. There you go. Align it in the center. And now I will go here. Change this to red. Change this to green. Change this to blue. Oh, shit. Blue. There you go. Boom, boom. Pre-comp. Trim. And now we'll just do this. All right, does this count as an 8-bit looping scene? Ta-da! Look at that. Brilliant. Challenge me. You weren't detailed enough. The Warrior. Hi. Hello, The Warrior. Nice to meet you. How did you do that shaking effect with the big title? It's very simple. So if I wanted to do it with this 8-bit scene that we just did here, I'm going to set a scale keyframe right here. I'm going to scale it up real big. I'm going to go over like 1, 2 keyframes, right? Set the scale at 100. And then I'm going to set a position keyframe. And then I'm going to go 1 frame over, move it, 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 and then copy my first keyframe and paste it at the end. And now it will scale and jiggle. Look at that. Incredible. So yeah, the shake is just kind of the position moving around. And then if you want to make it a little bit more realistic, slap on motion blur onto your layer, and now it will move with some motion blur, which is actually kind of cool because it's making like the RGB shift glow a little bit. So pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff, guys. After Effects is great. All these people that are like yelling at me on my channel about doing less After Effects tutorials, like why? After Effects is amazing. A Big Red G says poopity scoop. Thank you. Kanye fans in the chat. Are you going to do Avengers Endgame effects tutorials? No, I am not a Marvel level CGI artist, so I wouldn't even know where to start. Funny enough, the series is called Copycat. That's funny. So maybe it would be acceptable. Do you have a video on PC building for editing? I'm planning on building a PC for editing, so I wanted to know if I should invest on processor or GPU. I use AE and Premiere Pro. Okay, so if you guys are going to build your own PC, starting off, I would absolutely 100% recommend processing power over GPU power because After Effects and Premiere aren't really there yet as far as like advancing the GPU game, but get a really, really powerful processor and make sure that you have like liquid cooling and air cooling for it to keep it at a low enough temperature so that you can overclock it and get even more processing power out of it. So if you're going to build your own PC, I would start with a processor. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Is it possible that you can show one of your best montages on stream? I don't even remember. I don't do gaming montages typically, so I don't have like a favorite one that I've done. Banana Bot, I do not shoot on a GoPro, so I don't want to lead you in the wrong direction, but there are plenty of people on YouTube that use GoPros that can give you good settings for whichever one you're using. Oh yeah, posterize it. RBK Lightmind says posterize it. I could, but it's already an 8-bit font, so I just wanted to clock in that fast time. You know what I'm saying? Challenge me. Challenge accepted. Hey bro, what's up? Not much. How are you? Thanks for coming to the live stream. It seems like the most cool looking effects are the most simple. 100% agree. Simple is better. You ever heard the acronym KISS? Keep it simple, stupid? Yeah, that's a real thing. The simpler, the more clean, the better off you will be. Oh. Wish that Premiere Pro had the F curve for time remapping like After Effects. Oh, but it does, RBK Lightmind. Oh, but it does. Quick little mind blow right here. Here we go. Let's see. Let's get some footage in. We'll just pull something from my archive. Oh, God. Slow motion masterclass. Probably has some slow-mo footage in it. Slow-mo. Oh, God. What is this? Okay. Let's see. Drop this footage in there. Shot it in 60 FPS. There we go. This like coin falling into some water. Great. I can slow it down to 50% because it was shot in 60 FPS. And now if we come over here and right click on this little effects button and you go to time remapping speed, what you can do now is you can set keyframes and just kind of pull this, and is it Control? Is it Shift? Wait. Alt? No. Oh, there we go. I think it's Shift. Yeah. So if you hold on Shift and you go up like that, you can remap this down. Can I delete this? Oop. Oop. This is a horrible example. But you can see it kind of slows down over time. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely not as good as After Effects. I prefer After Effects if I'm going to do any sort of anything with curves. But you can. I actually just did a video on this recently. What's the video? I think I did a video on this recently. Animation hack right here. Adobe Premiere Pro animation hack. Watch this video because this will give you exactly what I'm talking about, but in a way more concise format. Here, I'll even drop the link in the chat for you. Boom. Speed ramping in Premiere with similar graphs like the graph editor in After Effects. Bear Solheim is saying, "Please talk to me." I'm talking to everybody, Bear. All right, don't be selfish here. We got no room for selfishness in this live stream. Excuse me. My God. Bear, I have a video on how to key out green screens. Eddie M_G, is it possible to track 3D text in Premiere? No, unfortunately not. I wish that you could, because the way that After Effects does it is really, really awesome. And I wish that you could do it in Premiere. All right, hold on. We're gonna... Oh, shit. Why? Okay. This is literally all I wanted to do. Be right back. Okay. I'm back, party people. Willow.net, I heard learn how to edit stuff has really bad breath. How would you even know that? How is that even a rumor? Polar Bear Red, what up, bro? Learned so much from your channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you, sir. Any hack to get Premiere Pro for free? No, I recommend buying it because they push updates for it all the time. And if you decide to like torrent an old version and then you're trying to learn stuff that doesn't exist in the old version, you're going to get really frustrated. And it's like, okay, well, you know, I think you can get Premiere in like Photoshop for pretty cheap a month. I don't know, but I understand that like some people's money situations are not, ideal or whatever, but I recommend buying it if you're super serious about editing. I'm a Wild Riven main. Do you have any tips about cutting people in After Effects without using the green screen? Yes. As a matter of fact, I do. Oh, did I close out of... Oh, hold on. Let's look. I also have a video about this on my channel. It's this one. Here you go, Wild Riven main. Boom. Rotoscoping without a green screen. I wish I could keep this on top. Is that possible? I don't think it is. Oh, well. GG's. Willow.net. Do you think the current prices are okay? I personally think monthly payments for software are stupid. I would so much rather have a one-time payment. Yeah, I agree. But, you know, it depends on the company. I think HitFilm is probably the closest to having something that's like a one-time payment that kind of gives you everything, and they also push updates. But you're kind of limited. You want to be able to especially learn with like a lot of stuff that they're going on. Like you're not going to find as many HitFilm tutorials as you are Adobe Premiere or After Effects tutorials. And if you're trying to get a job professionally doing this stuff, the majority of people are going to use your Premiere and After Effects, and they're going to want you to have an Adobe experience. So kind of, it's kind of a weird situation. And yes, FL Studio is for producing. I use Ableton though, because Ableton is supreme. How do you go about making your cam video colors look more crisp? I think it's just the ring light, to be completely honest. This ring light right here is just doing a lot. Otherwise, it probably would just look like a shitty webcam. I don't know. Ring light for the win. I don't think I'm doing anything like super weird with my camera. Yes, Russell says DaVinci Resolve gives you a ton now for free for a one-time payment for a few extra effects. That is true. DaVinci Resolve is originally built for color grading, so having that color grading like implementation into an editing software is really good, and they do allow editing. But again, it's one of those like, you know, are you going to download a free program and just get a bunch of time and energy and like all this stuff into a free program, and then you have a potential job opportunity and they're like, hey, do you use Premiere? And you're like, no, I edit exclusively in DaVinci. They're going to be like, oh, okay, well, we're going to find somebody with the right experience that we need. Thank you for your time. So you kind of have to go with the industry. Bear, I love you. How are you? I'm good. You know, just drinking my coffee, chatting with the stream. How long have we been live? I don't even know. Can I get like analytics on how long we've been live? I have no idea. All right, we're going to go back to this so it doesn't just say I have to pee, because I no longer have to pee. We covered that. Oh, it's changed it because it's a pre-comp. Damn it. I've screwed myself. Well, we're going to watch the SpongeBob You Got That meme again because I just think it's hilarious and I love it. Nope.
Cause you got that. 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 Like you. Cause you got that. Something that I need in my life. So give it to me. Cause you got that. Like you. Cause you got that. Something that I need in my life. That I need. So cause you got that.
One of the things that I do recommend that everybody have available to you at all times, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is, where is it? Oh no, what folder is it in? Oh God. Is it here? No. Where would I have it? Is it in here? Oh, editing assets. Yeah. Wait. Hold on. I can find it pretty simply. Reveal. There we go. Oh, yeah, it is under Learn How to Edit Stuff. Downloading yourself every episode of SpongeBob SquarePants, because that's something that everybody needs, I think.
Bowl. Gary's food bowl. That's it. I gotta feed Gary.
Oh, SpongeBob. Oh, SpongeBob. You silly, silly man. Love that show. In your opinion, what is the best site to make an online portfolio? I use Squarespace because it's super easy to use. Do I have any experience working as an assistant editor? Not in the traditional sense of assistant editing. I've kind of been, I started my career off as I hate the word predator, but that's the industry term for it, which is a producer editor. So I started doing that and I was like shooting and editing all of my own stuff. So I never have done like traditional assistant editing, but I totally understand like everything that's involved. How much do you pay for all Adobe programs monthly? I personally don't pay anything because my work, Team Liquid One Up Studios, pays for that subscription. But I believe for everything, Photoshop, Audition, Lightroom, Premiere, After Effects, Media Encoder, Illustrator, all that stuff, I think it's $60 a month. I think. We've been up for 70 minutes. Nice. Solid stream. I'm not ignoring you, Denari. How much can you do with only Premiere? I don't have After Effects downloaded yet and my disk space is limited. Like, can I do that edit with only Premiere? Yeah, kind of. It's going to be much more difficult to do. And I don't think After Effects takes up hardly any space on your computer. So sounds like an excuse, but maybe not. It's going to be a lot harder to do that in Premiere, certainly. After Effects makes it really easy. Best export settings for YouTube. All right, here we go, guys. Best export settings for YouTube. If I have this clip down on my timeline, just like so, I'm going to come up and I'm going to export this, right? And under my settings, I'm going to set this to H.264 encoding. And then under preset right here, this little preset drop-down menu, I'm going to drop this down. And right down here at the bottom are YouTube settings that are perfectly aligned for uploading to YouTube. So since my timeline is in 1080, I would click YouTube 1080p full HD. Also making sure to check the render at maximum depth and render at maximum quality checkboxes right here in Premiere. And then I'm going to click export, and that is going to be optimized for YouTube. Use presets, the more you know. Do I think Tamron lenses can compare to Canon lenses? Yeah, lenses are one of those things where it's like you can drastically go in one direction or another. I've used Tamron lenses. I've used Canon lenses. I think it just depends on what you're trying to achieve and what kind of budget you're working on. When will you be putting out a motion graphics template, blah, blah, blah pack? Love the free download, but would like some more customizable options in the presets. Yeah, I mean, those were just ones that I just quickly whipped up that were super easy to give away because they were like so basic. But basically what I wanted to do with that tutorial was just kind of show you guys how to make your own and then also provide, you know, some free ones as well. Click use previews. No, Roscoe. Do not click use previews. Do not do that. Can you show us the timelines of one of the edits for TL? Love seeing other people's timelines and work processes. I'm not on my work computer, so I cannot open up one of those projects. I don't know if I have any with me either. No, those are all photos. The only one I have is that Ovally one that I showed earlier, but I don't have any like major projects on my home computer at least. They're all on my work computer, so I cannot do that. I'm sorry. Do you recommend Luma Cube for vlogging outdoors? I don't know what that is. So, yes? No? Maybe? I don't know. What cameras are you guys shooting on for Team Liquid content? We have 2 Sony FS7s and 4 Sony A7S Mark IIs and a Sony A7R II for photography. So we're all Sony at Team Liquid. Why not use previews if you use ProRes HQ as the preview quality? So here's the thing, guys. If you're using ProRes HQ as the preview quality, your computer is doing a tremendous amount of work more just to let you work. So if you're using ProRes HQ as a preview quality, which is like a really intense codec and like, you know, lossless, all that stuff, your computer is going to have to work harder in order to just work normally. So as I'm editing, my computer is going to be like taxing more on doing simple processes. And it's actually going to take me a longer amount of time to edit because you're going to run into a multitude of issues of things lagging, not playing back properly, like always having to render, that kind of stuff. So if you just let the computer render, which is just one task, you don't have to use previews in order to make that happen. You can just let the computer render and you can walk away and it's going to do all the work all at once. How to render very high quality, like 1440p, maybe like that. Well, you have to shoot the video in high quality. You can't take a 720 video and then render it out at like 4K because it'll look like ass cheeks. Can you go through a project workflow that uses both Premiere Pro and After Effects? I want to know when you use AE and when you use Premiere. All right, so I will show you exactly how I use the two together. So I have this clip right here, right, of this thing falling into some water. And now what I'll do is I will just duplicate this on top of itself, right-click on it and go to Replace with After Effects Composition. And then usually what I do while using Premiere and After Effects simultaneously is I will just use After Effects for like motion graphics or text or callouts or things of that nature. So hold on, it has to load into a big project. So, all right, so now I have this video clip that is also simultaneously inside of Premiere and in After Effects. So what I would do here is I would just maybe do a call out. Let's see. I'm going to make a new solid. We're going to do this really, really quickly. And then I'm going to write down here like 60 FPS. I don't know. It doesn't really matter the font, huh? Okay, so we'll do like 60 FPS here. And then like, I don't know, H.264. Whatever. So I would make a graphic in here. And I'll just very simply fade this in like so. I will mute my video layer down here, and then I will save that and then go over back into Premiere. And now that little duplicate that I just made on top of the footage is now just the graphic. And so I can turn this on and off, and that's just my graphic asset. So that's really how I use After Effects and Premiere together. Because I can do something like this, and then, you know, come in here, set a position scale, do this now. This is a horrible example, but now I can kind of manipulate my video and have my graphics thing separated. So that's mainly how I use After Effects and Premiere together. That kind of relationship there. Logan Dixon. Don't think I've ever caught a live stream of yours. Hey, thanks for stopping by. How do you make your awesome thumbnails? In Photoshop. That's the most basic answer. Are you planning to make a video tutorial like Sam Colder style? Yeah, I can definitely look into that. I think his videos are cool. What is that shortcut that makes the layer invisible in Premiere Pro? So this is the enable and disable shortcut. So you can access that by right-clicking and then going to enable, this little checkbox right here. You can uncheck that. I have that set to 0 on my keyboard. For the guy that was talking about FL Studio in Ableton Live, 0 is to mute and unmute clips. So I have mine set to 0, and I believe the default is Shift-E for enable and disable, but I have mine set to 0, so Shift-E won't work for me. But yeah, that's just a super easy way to like turn things on and off and just mute stuff when you don't need it. Or like say you have this graphic and then you want to turn it off by the time it reaches there, you can just cut it, mute it. And then if you ever needed that graphic back, you can just unmute it. Or delete it and then pull it back out again. So a couple little useful tricks there. Oh, that song is so good. Hot, bird, shirt, dirt, bird. Would be cool to see you interview another TV and film editor on your channel and do a breakdown of their style, or big YouTube channel editors like Brad One and Bread 2. Yeah, that'd be super cool. You know, scheduling with this kind of stuff, I've tried to do some collaborative stuff with Olamefi Tutorials, Justin O'D Show, and a couple other people. I've tried to like coordinate doing stuff with them, but schedules just kind of don't work out, and you know, people are busy, people have other things going on, and like it's just really difficult to kind of meet up and do some stuff like that. But if that's something that you'd be interested in, I will definitely look into seeing if they'd be down to, you know, collab. Paintball Gamer, what are the requirements for a PC to edit in Premiere without a lot of crashing? What is the most important, RAM, CPU, or GPU? I would say CPU. I would say CPU is probably your most important asset that you need in order to not get super frustrated. Do you have any must-have plugins for editing? I really like the Red Giant Universe pack. It's not that expensive. I think it's like $100 a year, but they have a lot of really, really awesome stuff in the Red Giant Universe stuff. So they have blurs, distortions, generators, glows. They have a whole thing just for motion graphics. So if I drop in like just this HUD elements thing onto, I can like choose a bunch of different presets. So if I needed like a radar for some stupid reason, then I can come in here and I can actually like custom make this radar in a really cool way. So yeah, Red Giant Universe is really sick, and they have all these custom elements for doing motion graphics stuff, but that's just a small component of it. If I wanted to take this video and I wanted to throw a stylized effect of VHS on top of it, now I can just like very quickly make this look like it was shot on a VHS, and they have a bunch of different awesome presets. So, you know, if you wanted to do like worse tape distortion, vertical slipping on the footage, it's just really easy to just drag and drop. So if I was, you know, that's one of the ones that I go to on a really regular basis is the Red Giant Universe stuff. So I would look into that. I love Red Giant. Great company. Can you show us how to reconnect a file if you break the Premiere and AF connection? Yes, sure. So say you hypothetically accidentally move a clip to another folder and you don't know, you know, Premiere's looking at like one folder option, and then you get this horrible media offline graphic that we're all used to seeing. So very simply, if you have a lot of, you know, if you're working actively and you have a lot of stuff on your timeline, you can just hit Control A to select all, then right click somewhere on a media offline clip and go to link media. And then it will show you where the last file path was. And if you hit locate, it will automatically bring you back to where the file path started. But if you hypothetically move that piece of footage into a new folder or whatever, all you have to do is navigate to the new folder, find the clip again, and then click OK, and it will reconnect everything exactly where it was before. Boom. Knowledge bomb. Thank you, Scott. Again, do you have any plugins to recommend? I really like the Red Giant stuff. All their stuff is really good. It's kind of expensive, but it's totally worth it if you guys, you know, have some income that you want to spend on editing. Great is the food at 1UP on a scale 10 out of 10. The food is great. We have an executive chef. His name is Manny. If you go and follow on Instagram at Team Liquid Chef, you can kind of see all the stuff that he's cooking up for us on a daily basis. It's pretty consistently good. Give me a shout out. Okay, Collab Bros React. This is a shout out for Collab Bros React. Thank you for coming by. What would you say is a good starting point to focus on when learning After Effects? Been editing in Premiere for 4 years, but I've always shied away from AE. That's a good question. After Effects does not work the same way as Premiere. It is like, you know, you don't have like linear things that you're working with. So like if we go to the SpongeBob thing as an example, like inside of just this one layer right here, like this one little clip, if I double click on that, I have a bunch of pre-comps that are all connected to that one composition. And then inside of this, if I double click on that, I just have 3 individual frames that I'm working with. So you kind of have to like bury stuff in folders and, you know, just kind of understand what After Effects is before you use it. Don't go into After Effects thinking that it's a traditional like linear editing system, because that's just not the case at all. It is very different, and you can do a lot of stuff with 3D. You know, like in here, I have a 3D camera active, and if I were to turn that camera off, well, everything is kind of like close to the camera, but if I were to turn this camera off and just play this is what it looks like without the 3D camera.
Like you, 'cause you got that something that I need. If I like, so give it to me.
But with that 3D camera on, I'm just pushing through all of these layers simultaneously.
Like you, 'cause you got that something that I need. If I like, so give it to me. 'Cause you got that.
I just like the song. But yeah, After Effects is great. My advice would be, do not be shy about it. Do not feel weird about it. Sorry, I'm getting a text message. Hold on. Okay. Da, 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 da. Is the word -0 blocked? I attempted to say it, but it was blocked and censored. I have no idea. I don't know. Well, my settings aren't like anything crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I think this concludes the live stream for the day. I know some of you just got here. Some of you have been with us for a while. I apologize, but I have things to do. People to see, videos to edit, all of that fun stuff. I want to thank you guys for stopping by the live stream. I really appreciate it. I'm out of coffee, which means that I'm out of time for this live stream. Thank you to all who stuck around, hung out with me today. Nice long stream. Hopefully you guys learned something cool. Be on the lookout for more Learn How to Edit Stuff tutorials. As always, if you guys have any recommendations or anything that you want to say, tweet at me, at NaughtyandSands. Hit me up on Instagram, at NaughtyandSands. Any suggestions, any cool videos that you guys find online that you want to take a deeper dive into, just reach out to me. You know, don't DM me, okay? Just tweet at me. I see those, but, you know, I have a lot of random people messaging me on Twitter to, like, have me edit videos for free for them and all this. I don't read those messages. But, hey, if you hit me with a nice tweet, hey, Naughty and Sands, at Naughty and Sands, found this really cool video online, thought you might enjoy it. This effect seems really neat. What do you think? That's a good way to get a hold of me. So do that. Do that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. I'm out of here. I will see you next time. You know, we'll sign it off traditional Learn How to Edit Stuff style. All right, guys. Peace out. Love, respect, editing. Goodbye. ASMR. And now we sign off.